So today I'm starting a new topic, which is correction of errors. We have done correction of errors before, but all the past paper questions relating to correction of errors is there in the tute. Okay. So before I start this topic, I'm going to give you the introduction of all the errors that you need to know. Haridhar, shall we take up one at a time? Okay. So this is the tute that you have. Did everyone get a tute named correction of errors? Right? All under control? No? Okay. So you should be having a writing book with you as well. And then in case if you have space in the tute on the last page, you can take down whatever the errors that you have to. I, of course, don't have space on the last page. I'm going to give you some short notes, which you have to remember when you do the topic correction of errors. Okay. So the short notes and all, you can have it in your writing book. All the answers will be done in the past paper, right? So can you please give a heading saying correction of errors? So let me also give a heading, correction of errors. Let's see what are the errors and how to do the correction. So we will be doing all the past papers, but before doing the past papers, I have to give you a summary. New topic, correction of errors. Right, correction of errors. Only a summary. I'm not going to give you detailed notes because in the past I have given you the notes. Subheading, errors not affecting trial balance. Correction of errors is the main heading. Subheading will be errors not affecting trial balance. Errors not affecting trial balance will be the subheading under that. Errors not affecting trial balance. So main heading, correction of errors, subheading under that, errors not affecting trial balance. Okay. Can you tell me what is the first error that does not affect your trial balance? Do you remember? Omission, right? I will explain what these things are. Omission, right? What do you mean by omission? But before that, you know, how do you do a trial balance and how do you balance a trial balance? Let me show you that. You will have an idea of how it's going to work. No, right? Cambridge O-Level 2023 batch, double entry. Where is double entry error? Right? Let me give you a small introduction of how this trial balance is going to work. Can you look at this trial balance? Is debit and credit equal? Yeah, 33,500, 33,500. Can you see its debit and credit is equal? But how do you do a trial balance is, now can you see I have prepared so many T accounts here, right? Once you are done preparing a T account, from every single T account, you need to look at the final balance brought down figure. Can you look at the sales returns account? If you look at the sales returns account, how much is the final brought down balance? 500, right? On which side have I given you the 500? Debit side. Then you know what do? You go and enter sales returns. Can you see you have gone and entered sales returns on the debit side 500? Okay. Likewise, when you look at this T account, stationery account, look at the final brought down value. How much is the final brought down value? 200 on the debit side. Look at your trial balance. Can you see you have written stationery 200 on the debit side? Is that clear? Likewise, if I give you one more example, look at Tom's account or look at sundry expense account 150 on the debit side. If you look at sundry expense account, you look at the final brought down value. 150 on the debit side. Can you see 150 is there for sundry expense on the debit side? So this is how you do a trial balance. So first you do a T account. After you are done with T accounts, you balance the accounts. No. After you are done balancing the account, which figure do you take to the trial balance? Final brought down value. From every T account, you need to enter the final brought down value. And finally, your trial balance has to balance. I have a question for you now. If the trial balance is balancing, what is the meaning of that? No errors? Have you done everything perfectly? That's not the meaning. You know, what is the meaning of trial balance balancing? Debit and credit is equal. No. For you to make sure that the debit and credit is equal, in accounting, every transaction should have a debit entry and a credit entry. No, everyone knows that. In accounting, whenever you see a transaction, there should be a debit entry, there should be a credit entry. If you make a debit entry and a credit entry for the same amount, your trial balance will balance, right? Example, now I'm coming back to the errors, okay? Then only you will understand how these errors are going to work. So this is what color? Errors. Okay, now listen to me very carefully. I'll explain what I just told you over there. Imagine you're paying for rent by cash. Okay, rent by cash. Imagine the correct amount is 100. Can you tell me which account should you debit? When you pay for rent, rent is expense. Expenses are always debited. So what will you do to cash account? Credit. Am I right? Okay. Now imagine without entering 100, you entered 150 here, 150 here, whereas the correct amount is 100. But in the rent account, you are entering 150, cash account, you are entering 150, right? Is it correct or is it wrong? It's wrong. I have entered the wrong amount. But you know what? Trial balance will still balance. Why will the trial balance balance? Even though the correct amount is 100, you are entering 150, right? But did you enter 150 on both sides? Debit also 150, credit also 150. Have you entered 150 on both sides? Yes, right? So because the debit and the credit amount is equal, trial balance will definitely balance. Even though there is an error, trial balance will balance because debit and credit is equal. If I give you another example, right? If I give you another example, let's say you are paying for rent by cash $100, so you have to debit rent, credit cash, right? Imagine by mistakenly you do this. Without debiting the rent account, by mistakenly you debit insurance account and credit cash account. You should actually debit the rent account and credit cash account. What did you do? You're debiting the insurance account and crediting cash account. There is a mistake, no? What is the mistake? You didn't enter in the rent account. Is that clear? Even though you have made a mistake, you know what's the most important thing that you need to understand? Have you made a debit entry and a credit entry for the same amount? Yes. 100 is there on the debit side, 100 is there on the credit side, right? So even though there is a mistake, debit and credit is equal, trial balance will balance, but there is an error. So what are we learning now? Can you see we are under the heading errors not affecting the trial balance, right? What do you mean by errors not affecting the trial balance? Even if you make few errors, your trial balance will still balance. That's what we are learning now, right? So why will it balance? Because debit and credit entry is done for the same amount. That is the conclusion. Clear? So if you make a debit entry and a credit entry for the same amount, trial balance will always balance. Okay, that is the conclusion that you need to remember. Now, what do you mean by omission? Now you need to understand the meaning of omission. All these things will be tested in the past paper, right? What do you mean by omission is, imagine you are paying for rent by cash. Let's say $50 this time. You have to debit rent, credit cash account, right? Omission means you don't enter anything. You don't enter anything. No debit entry, no credit entry. No, have I entered anything? No, no. If I don't enter anything, that is what you mean by omission. Now I have a question for you. How much is the amount on the debit side? 100, 200, 50, 0. How much? Ade, if I have not entered anything, how much is the amount on the debit side? 0. Credit side, have I entered anything? No, 0. So debit side is also 0, credit side is also 0, right? Are both equal? 0 and 0, is it equal? Equal, no. Debit side also nothing, credit side also nothing. So which means your trial balance will balance because debit and credit is equal. So what is the definition of omission? Omission meaning when you don't enter anything at all. Okay, so there was a transaction where you paid for rent by cash, but you did not enter anything at all. If you don't enter anything at all, that is what you mean by omission. Clear? Right. Small note for omission. I've given you the detailed notes in the past. I'm just giving you a summary of what and what you have to remember when it comes to these errors. Okay, so omission meaning no entries are made. No entries are made. That is the definition of omission. Now I'm moving to error number 2, commission. Error number 2 is commission. Okay, so error number 1 is omission. Now I'm moving to error number 2, which is going to be commission. Right. Can I explain commission now? Okay, have a look at this. Imagine you're paying for rent by cash $50, right? What should you do to the rent account? You have to debit the rent account and you have to credit the cash account. That should be the correct double entry, no? Imagine by mistakenly you debited the wages account and credited the cash account. You're going to debit the wages account and credit the cash account. Is that clear? Right? Okay. Now, if you debit the wages account and credit the cash account, I have a question for you, right? My question is debit and credit equal? Equal, no. But have you made a mistake? Yes. What is the mistake? You should actually debit the rent account and credit the cash account. Harida? But what did you do? You debited the wages account and credited the cash account, right? So there is a mistake, but debit and credit is equal. Therefore, trial balance will balance. Now, the problem is this. Hold on. What do you mean by commission now? Have a look at it. You're paying for rent by cash. No, so when you pay for rent by cash, rent account has to be debited, cash account has to be credited. But what did you do? You debited the wages account and credited cash account. Debit and credit is equal, no? So because the debit and credit is equal, you need to understand trial balance will balance. Even though there is an error, trial balance will balance. Okay. Why do you call this commission? You need to understand the meaning of commission. I have a question for you. Did you enter in the correct account or have you entered in the wrong account? Correct account or wrong account? Wrong account. Why? Did you enter in the rent account? No. Where did you enter? Wages account. If you enter in the wrong account, but same class, you know what do you mean by same class? Both have to be assets. If not, both should be expenses. If not, both should be liability. Both should be income. Now, if I ask you a question, what is rent? Expense. What is wages? Expense. So are those two in the same class? Yes. So if you enter in the wrong account, but if it is in the same class, then what is the name of that error? Commission. Is that clear? So how do you correct an error like this? Example, by mistake you entered in the wages account. No. So you credit the wages account to cancel it off. And what will I do in the rent account? In the rent account, you will go and debit 50 to make the correct entry. That is how you correct the error. I will come to the correction, but initially you need to understand what is the definition of commission. So what is commission? You are entering in the wrong account, but same class. Harida? Right. Can you give an answer to this saying? Wrong account, but same class. Right? Wrong account. Wrong account, but same class. Okay. So everyone understood what do you mean by same class? You are first class. Okay, you are in the same class. Don't worry. Right. Error number 2 is commission. Now I am moving to error number 3. Give answers. Don't look up and wait. Now, if you people look like Mara dull and look ohe and wait, man, I also will look ohe and I will fall asleep. You know, I have a disease. That is, if people are boring, I fall asleep. Okay. Seriously, doctor. I am a doctor. Name of the disease is psychophobia, created from psychophobia. Okay, right. Principle. Correct, no man? Very good. Will I ever lie? No, no man. Principle. Can you write the third one? Principle. So commission means wrong account and wrong account, but same class. The one who came now, we started a new topic, correction of errors. Under that, I've just given you these 3 points so far. And you got a past paper tute? You didn't get a tute? No. Okay. You will get it. Wrong account, but same class. Then I'm moving to principle. Now, let me give you an example of principle. Now, give me answers. No anang manang kata. Okay. Right. You know, if not, I will fall asleep. You are paying for rent by cash 50. What should I do to rent account? Debit. What should I do to cash account? Credit. By mistakenly, what you do is you debit the motor vehicles account with 50 and you credit the cash account with 50. Actually, you paid for rent by cash. Rent should be debited, cash should be credited. What did you do? You debited motor vehicles and credited the cash account. First question, is debit and credit equal? Yes. Why? You have debited 50, credited 50, right? But do you see an error? Yes. But this is an error which will not affect your trial balance. Your trial balance will still balance. Why? Debit and credit is equal. Then you need to understand whatever the error that you make. If debit and credit is equal, trial balance will still balance. Okay. You know, why do you call this principle? My first question from you. Have you entered in the correct account or wrong account? Wrong account. Why? Without entering in the rent account, you entered in the motor vehicles account. Okay. My second question. Look at rent, look at motor vehicle. Same class or different class? Different class. Why different class? Rent is what? Expense. But motor vehicle is what to you? Assets. Rent is expense, motor vehicle is assets. Then they are not in the same class. So what do you mean by principle? Entering in the wrong account, but also in a different class. Is that clear? Right. Small note for principle now. Okay. So what is principle? Wrong account, same class or different class? And different class. Wrong account and different class. Wrong account and different class. Clear? Error number 4. Now I'm moving to error number 4. The fourth one is going to be original entry. Original entry. Original entry. Right? Original entry. Write the name. I will explain what original entry is. That is error number 4. Now I need answers. Patas answers. Huh? Now imagine you are paying, same example I am taking where you are paying for rent by cash. Let's say the correct amount is $100. Okay. So you have to debit rent and credit cash. You know what did you do? By mistakenly, you debit 90 here, credit 90 here. Have you made a mistake? Yes. Correct amount is 100. How much have you entered in both the accounts? 90. Now my first question. Have you entered in the correct account? Yes. You entered in the rent account. You entered in the cash account, right? Account is perfect. What is the problem? Amount is wrong, right? Accounts are perfect, but the amount is wrong. When the amount is wrong, the name of the error is what? Original entry. Okay, if I ask another question, will your trial balance balance? Yes. Why? You know this. You know this now. Debit and credit is equal. So always remember, whatever the error that you make, if the debit and the credit is equal, trial balance will balance. Okay, but there is an error. How can you correct an error like this? How can I make it 100? I have to debit 10, right? I have to add 10. How can I make the other side 100? I will have to credit 10. So what do you mean by original entry? Original entry meaning accounts are correct. You have entered in the correct account, but you have entered the wrong amount. Is that clear? Right. So now let's write the definition of original entry. Okay. So original entry meaning correct account, but wrong amount. Original entry meaning correct account, but wrong amount. Huh? Right, Arid? Kevin, Menaya, Naveen, Damadi. Right? Anyone you know? No. What? You should know the entire Sri Lankan population. What is this? No, man. No, for example, ask him, he knows everyone. Yeah, correct, no? Huh? I don't lie, bang. Correct, it's him. I hate liars, I never lie, no. Okay, I never lie. Original entry. Fifth one is going to be complete reversal. Complete reversal. Can you write the fifth one? Complete reversal. Right. Let me give you an example of complete reversal. You know what is complete reversal? Same example I'm going to take. Rent and cash. When you pay for rent by cash, imagine you're paying $50. You have to debit the rent account. You have to credit the cash account. You know, what did you do? Some people do this. Okay. Right. You have to debit the rent account. What did you do to rent account? Credit. You have to actually credit the cash account. What did you do to cash account? Debit. Opposite. You do the opposite. But my question, have you made a debit entry and a credit entry for the same amount? Yes. So your trial balance will definitely balance. You know what do you mean by complete reversal? Complete reversal meaning you have entered in the correct account. You have entered in the wrong, rent account. You have entered in the cash account. You have entered in the correct account. But did you enter on the correct side? No, you have entered it on the wrong side. So remember, if you go and enter in the correct account, but on the wrong sides, that is what you mean by complete reversal. But you know where the problem is? Some people go wrong while correcting this error. Can you tell me how much should I debit in the rent account to correct it? 100. You all are legends, no bang. I feel like y'all should teach and I should come and sit there now. Correct, no? Yeah, correct, it's in there. Very good. Okay. So what should I do to rent account? I have to debit 100. Why do you debit 100? Let me explain it to you. Rent should be 50 on the debit side, no? If I put 50 here, that is for me to cancel the mistake, because by mistake I went and put 50 on the credit side before. No, first I have to remove that 50 and cancel the error. So if I debit 50, it's like I have not entered anything now. So I have to enter another 50 on the debit side. So which means in total, how much am I debiting? 100. Same thing with cash. Cash should be 50 on the credit side. No, if I put only 50 on the credit side, your answer is not perfect because you made a mistake before. First, you have to cancel the mistake. After that, you have to make the correction. So the rule that you need to remember, whenever you come across errors of complete reversal, while correcting, double the amount. Is that clear? While correcting, always double the amount. Okay. So what is the definition of complete reversal? A short point if I'm giving you. Complete reversal meaning correct account but wrong sides. Correct account but wrong side. Correct account but wrong side. That is what you mean by complete reversal. Okay. Correct account but wrong side. Kullu maafi. Now the last one. Okay. Last one. Who can tell me the name? Very good. Very good. Okay. With 4.5 months for exams, everyone knows the name. Very good. That is the commitment. Ado, kiya pando? Name. One more is there. Name. Name. Online. Name. Physical. Everyone told me the name. Bro, name. Not your name. Error number 6. Kevin. Kevin, look at the final answer. What is he telling? Compensating. Sheka. Right. Very good. Good commitment. At least you have to copy and tell. When you don't know, you have to look at the book and tell. Correct? No? Right. Error number 6 is going to be compensating. Or you call it compensation. Either compensating or compensation. Right? Compensating. Okay. What do you mean by compensating? Now, this is a very nice error. Okay. Now, this one, you need a lot of understanding for you to understand the error. Okay. Usually, they test you with the theory only, but one calculation I'm going to give you. Imagine you're going to pay for rent by cash, $50. You have to debit rent, credit cash. Correct? No? what are you doing? By mistakenly, you debit 40 here, credit 50 here. Based on your knowledge, can you tell me, will your trial balance or it won't balance? It won't balance. Why won't it balance? Debit and credit is not equal. Trial balance will not balance when you look at this error. I am going to give you another error where you are paying for wages from your bank account. Okay, how much? $100. You are going to pay for wages from your bank account, $100. So you should debit wages, credit bank. No, you debit 100 here. By mistakenly, you credit 90 here. Look at this error and tell me only this error. Is debit and credit equal? Not equal. Not equal meaning, will your trial balance balance or no? It won't balance. Okay. Now use your kidney a bit. I want you to combine the two errors together and tell me how much is the total on the debit side. When you combine everything together, how much is the total on the debit side? 140, right? 140. Can you see? Rent 40, wages 100, total 140. How much is the total on the credit side? 140. Now tell me, if you combine the two errors together, is the total debit and total credit equal? Will your trial balance balance then? Yes. You know what is compensating? Compensating meaning there should be two errors. How many errors? Two errors. If you look at only the first error, trial balance will not balance. If you look at only the second error, trial balance will not balance. But if you combine the two errors together, total debit and total credit will be equal. So the definition of compensating is how many errors will be there? One or two? Two errors. Two errors combined together will cancel out each other and your trial balance will be equal. Terunada? Right. So that's it for errors not affecting your trial balance. Okay. So let's do the correction. Compensating, let's write the definition. What is compensating? There will be two errors. Okay. There will be two errors. There will be two errors which will cancel out each other. Which will cancel out each other. Cancel out each other. When you combine both. When you combine both. Right? When you combine both. There will be two errors which will cancel out each other when you combine both. Okay, very quickly. How many errors are there not affecting your trial balance now? 6. Only 6. What is omission? Omission is nothing is recorded. When you don't enter anything, that is omission. Commission means wrong account, same class. Principal means wrong account, different class. Okay. Same class meaning both are expenses. Both are incomes. Different class meaning one is expense, other one might be asset. You get it? That's a different class. Okay. Principal. What is principal? Principal is done. Sorry. Original entry. Original entry meaning correct account, but the amount is wrong. So if the amount is wrong, you need to remember what is the name of the error? Original entry. Complete reversal. What is complete reversal? Account is correct, but the sides are interchanged. Wrong sides. Okay. Finally, compensating. How many errors should be there? Two errors. So when you combine the two errors, that will cancel out each other. Clear? So these are the definitions that you need to know for the errors which is not affecting your trial balance. So these short points I have given you for you to remember. Not only that, I have explained what these errors are. So while correcting, you should be able to figure out the names of the error, right? Okay. Now, Machang, subheading, errors affecting trial balance. Errors affecting trial balance. Errors affecting trial balance should be the subheading. within brackets say suspense, because all the errors which is affecting your trial balance, you have to correct it through an account called suspense account. So subheading will be errors affecting trial balance, okay, which should be corrected through an account called suspense. Right. Before all that, let me just look at this question little. Good one. What am I going to do now? Take the past paper, question number 1. Why am I going to do question number 1 before explaining the errors affecting trial balance reason? All these are errors not affecting your trial balance, okay? So I'm going to do a few examples how past paper questions have been tested under errors not affecting your trial balance, okay? That is question number 1. Just hold on. Okay. Yeah, let's start with question number 1. Right? So can everyone take question number 1 from the tute? Karthik extracted the following trial balance from of the books on 30th September. Okay, a trial balance is given to you. Is the trial balance balancing? Just check and see. Yeah, balancing, right? 21,720, 21,720. Can everyone see that it's balancing? Error. Now read. They have given you 4 errors. On inspection of the books, Karthik found the following errors and they have given you 4 errors. No. Look at the first requirement. Name the type of error in 1 to 4. Shall we look at the first one, little? Read it. Purchases on credit from HANA 600 had been recorded in the book of prime entry and in the account of HANA as 900. Use your brains a bit. Correct amount is 600, but you have gone and entered 900. What is the name of the error? If the amount is wrong, what should be the name of the error? Kevin is giving me the answer. Online is giving me. Look at the physical fellows. We look at y'all are like you have come for a horror movie and you are in the middle of a ghost coming in and like Mara shocked and waiting. Marasin, when you go for the O-level exam, it will be a worst horror movie. Yeah? This is like Marasin, no? Look, purchases on credit from HANA. When you purchase from HANA, if I just give you an example, when you purchase, purchaser's account has to be debited, HANA's account has to be credited. You're purchasing from HANA for 600 had been recorded in the book of prime entry. Book of prime entry meaning when you purchase, there is a purchaser's day book, purchaser's journal. That is like in your purchaser's account. So in your purchaser's account also you entered 600 in the account, sorry, 900, okay? Recorded in the book of prime entry and in the account of HANA as 900. So in both the accounts, you are entering 900. Correct amount is 600. If you go and enter 900 in both the accounts, can you tell me the name? Omission, commission, what? Original entry. Answer to the name. First one answer should be original entry. Can you go to the first one and write the name of the error, which is going to be original entry. So can you write it here saying original entry? That is error number 1. Name of the first error is original entry. Wait, let's also correct error number 1 because the B part is to do the journal entries. Narratives are not required. Okay. So I'm going to correct error number 1. Please help me out. I've done the workings here. Correct amount is how much? 600. But how much have you gone and entered? 900. Can you please tell me how can I make the purchaser's account 600? How much extra have I entered? 300 extra. Should I enter 300 on the debit side no or 300 on the credit side? Credit side. I have to remove 300, right? If I enter on the debit side, purchasers will increase further. So on which side will I enter in the purchaser's account? Credit. What should I do to the account of HANA? Debit 300. I have to remove 300, okay? Because the correct amount is 600. So how will I correct? You have to put this into the journal. Which account are you debiting? HANA's account. No. HANA's account, you are debiting 300. Purchaser's account, you are crediting 300 when you are correcting the error. You have to go and enter that in the journal. So write Hana. Right, debit 300 and purchaser's account is credited with 300. Also, just remember Hana is a trade payable. Okay, not must to write. I'm doing this because it will help you out when you do the next requirement. When you purchase on credit, the name that you give to those people is trade payables. Okay, so error number 1 is sorted. Now let's look at error number 2. Completed. Error number 1 is done. Huh? Kullu maafi. Error number 2, right? Can everyone see error number 2? Either you can look at the screen or your writing board. I mean, your past paper tube that is given. Rent payable 450 had been posted to which account? General expenses account. So if I do a small working, there is a rent account, general expenses account. What happened? Rent 450, in which account have they gone and entered? General expenses account. Okay, this is what they have done. Without entering in the rent account, they went and entered in the general expenses account. Have you entered in the correct account or wrong account? Wrong account. If it is wrong account, think and see, same class or different class? Same class. Why same class? Rent is expense. General expense is also expense. So when you enter in the wrong account and same class, what is the name of the error? Commission. Kullu maafi. So error number 2, what is the name? Commission. First go and write the name. After that, we'll correct it. They are asking you for the name. Name is going to be commission. Is it too cold? By any chance? Anyone feeling cold? If it is cold, let me know. Right. Commission. Now, shall we correct this error? Can you tell me, how can I correct this error? What should I do to general expenses account? Huh? Credit how much? 450. Why? By mistakenly, I went and put to general expenses account, right? Rent. By mistakenly, I went and put to general expense. So what should I do now? I have to remove it from general expense first. For that, I have to credit 450 here. What will I do in the rent account? Debit, because it's an expense. In accounting, expenses should always be on the debit side when you make the correction. Harida, so rent account is debited, general expenses account is credited while correcting the error. So you need to put this into the journal. Rent account will be debited with 450, no? 450. General expenses account should be credited with 450. Okay, rent account has to be debited, general expenses account has to be credited. Right. Kuch hota hai. Error number 2 is done. Now we are going to look at error number 3. Shall we have a look? Okay, you're buying fixtures. They are telling you purchase of fixtures. Easy game, easy game. You're buying fixtures for 800. Where have you gone and entered? In the general expenses account. You're buying fixtures without entering in the fixtures account. It had been recorded in the general expenses account. Did you enter in the correct account or wrong account? Wrong account. Same class or different class? Different class. Why different class? Fixtures is non-current asset. It's an asset. General expense is expense. So they are not in the same class. So if it is not in the same class, principal. Write the name, error number 3. Principal. After that, we'll correct error number 3. Right? Name of the error is principal. Can you tell me how to correct it? What should I do to general expenses account? Credit how much? 800. By mistakenly, I entered in the general expense account 800. No. So to cancel that, you have to credit 800 in the general expenses account. Where will I debit? Fixtures account. Fixtures account has to be debited with 800. So that is how you are correcting the error, right? So to remove it from general expense, you credit the general expenses account. to make the correct entry in the fixtures account. When you buy a fixture, you have to debit fixtures account, right? So fixtures debit, general expense account is credit. Fixtures account is debit with 800. General expenses account. General expenses account has to be credited with 800. That is how you correct error number 3. Now coming to the fourth one, error number 4. Right, error number 4. Let's look at the fourth one now. Okay. A sale of goods on credit to Roy had been debited to sales account and credited to Roy's account. Let's analyze it. Can you first tell me, when you sell to Roy, sales account has to be credited. Sales is income. No, it always comes on the credit side. So Roy's account has to be debited. That's the correct thing. No. What did this dinky fellow go and do? Read and see. Sale of goods on credit to Roy 500 had been debited to the sales account. This is what they have done. Always enter what they have done. And credited to Roy's account. They have done the opposite. What's the name? Complete reversal. If they go and do the opposite, the name of the error should be complete reversal, right? So let's write for error number 4, complete reversal. Complete reversal. Error number 4. Okay, all right. Ursula. Pronunciation is wrong. Ursula. But we're starting with a U, no? Huh? Ursula meaning you have to put E-R-R-R-R. Ursula. No? Ursula, right. It's okay. It's okay. Now, for example, when I came from Australia, right, in the airport, I looked at one fellow and told, I came here to die. He thought I came here to die. But I meant I came here today. You get it? I came here to die. That's a different pronunciation. Okay, I came here to die. Australian accent. Yeah, when I was in Australia, I was born in Switzerland. From Switzerland, I went to UK. From UK, US, US to Australia. From Australia to where? Japan. From Japan to China, China to Sri Lanka. Okay? Pritesh, correct, no? Me boruki and Nepal bang. Like you. I hate liars, no bang. What is this? So just because I tell like that, don't agree. You know, it's gong harat boru ne monkey with that. Your name is correct. Name? What name? Huh? What name? It's okay. It's okay. No, you're confused. Don't confuse me also. Okay. Right. After that, everyone will go Mongol. Is it cold for you? I can see it. It will be cold. Like cold. No. Ade, open the mouth and tell will you bang. Cold means. I am trying to ask you all and shape again manage. For me, I am feeling a bit cold. Okay. You, none of the dinky fellows are telling me it's cold. No. Cold. No. Why a kelapring? That side also cold. Not cold. Cold, no. Tell like that. Open the mouth and tell. For you, of course, what man? If I put -5 degrees, man, you won't feel it. Okay. I am not asking you. I am talking to the others in the class. Okay. You of course, won't feel anything. You are a gym body. Huh? I have to go there. That's telling me to exercise a bit. That's too much. Right. If that is also cold, let me know. Okay. Side Shyam. Correct, no? Side. Okay. I'm coming back to this. This one. If it is cold, you all have to tell, man, it's cold. You all have to open the mouth and tell. Only I can't suffer, no? Huh? Fellows, no, man. It's like you have come and seen me for the first time in your entire life, and like, you know, I am like a ghost and you all are scared to speak to me also. Pritesh, correct, no? No, I like that, huh? Right. Error number 4. Now, can we come to the fourth one? Right. How do you correct this error now? Can you remember when it comes to complete reversal, I told you patas. double the amount while correcting the error. Why double? Sales should be 500 on the credit side. You went and put on the debit side, no. So if I put only 500 on the credit side, that is to cancel the mistake. You have to put another 500. So which means how much in total? 1000. Sales account is credited with 1000. What should I do to the account of Roy? Debit 1000, right? Debit the account of Roy with 1000. So you have to enter that in the journal. Roy debit, sales credit 1000. Roy debit 1000 and sales account is credited with 1000. Next to Roy, just write this and keep. It will be much more easier. Hold on. When you sell on credit, what is the name that you give to those people? Okay. So Roy is a trade receivable. Why am I writing it? It will help you when you do the next requirement. Okay. Roy is a trade receivable. Okay. Right. Online, only one fellow is giving me answers. Others might be watching a movie, no? Huh? Yeah. You never know what you do in online, no bang? See, will you look at the reaction that you are giving me after some of the online classes? Last week, some faces were here. Today, some other faces are there. Like, ooh, tube light. It's okay. You are a legend, bro. You are a legend. Okay. Tillman, yes. Ade, you should never think that you are a legend. That is, if you think like that, that is ego. So just because I tell like that, don't say yes, sir. Okay. You are a legend, bro. You are a legend. Okay. Right. C part of the requirement. These are very, very interesting requirement. Prepare the corrected trial balance at 30th September 2019. A corrected trial balance. Okay. Before you do a trial balance, now there is some empty space left here. I want you to write this and keep. What are the things that comes on the debit side? Assets, expenses, expenses, and drawings, right? These things should always be on the debit side. These are rules that you need to know before you do the trial balance, okay? Liabilities, capital, income, and any provisions. If you see the word provision for depreciation, provision for doubtful debts, any of those, it should always be on the credit side. So below that trial balance, can you write this rule and keep? Then it's easy when you do the trial balance. Huh? Right? Assets, expenses, and drawings should be on the debit side. Liability, capital, income, and provision will be on the credit side. Then when you do a trial balance, it will be very much more easier. But now, little bit of thinking required. So don't look oh hey and wait. If you look oh hey, your results also will go like hey, oh hey. Okay. So when you look here and wait, mehe, you have to look mehe. My signal is correct. Mehe balapando harino. Like that now you speak. Yeah, right. Now I have a question for you. First, they have given you revenue. No, revenue comes on which side? Sales, always on credit side. But there is a problem. I'll tell you what is the problem. Listen, because this is with errors. Okay, sales come. Yes, Damadi. Online answers are coming up now. How much is given for revenue in the question in the trial balance before? How much have they given you for revenue? 18,000. You can't enter 18 now. Look at the journal. Look at the journal. Did you make any adjustment to the revenue or the sales figure? Yes or no? Yes. Can you see the last point? What did you do to sales account? Dahamdi. Dahamdi. Okay. Daham whenever doom whenever dahamdi hema tamai. Okay. Dahamdi. Ela dahamdi. Okay. First time you gave an answer, no, that's why everyone got surprised, and in that shock and surprise, we pronounced your name also in a different way. You get it? Yeah. Right. Dahamdi. Now dahamdi. Okay, sales, right? What are you doing to sales account here? Debiting or crediting? Look at the journal. Crediting. I have a question for you now. Revenue is given 18,000 on the credit side. No. Now imagine, let's see if you know this, will you? There is 18,000 on the credit side. You go and put another 1,000 on the credit side. Will the value increase or will it reduce? It will increase. Am I right? Because you are going and putting it on the same side. If I ask you another question, 10,000 is there on the debit side. Okay, I heard 10,000 is there on the debit side. You go and put another 2,000 on the debit side. Will it increase or reduce? Increase. Why? You are going and entering it on the same side. Now, if I show you an example, imagine 10,000 was there on the debit side. You go and put another 2,000 on the debit side. Now, how much is the total? 12,000. Imagine 18,000 was there on the credit side. You go and put another 1,000 on the credit side. How much is the total? 19,000. Now tell me this, will you? 10,000 is there on the debit side. You go and put on the opposite side 1,000. Now what will happen? Now 9,000. Now it will reduce. Now if you balance this accountancy, you can check now 10,000 on both sides. How much will be the carried down? 9,000. So what you need to understand is if you go and put it on the same side, the value will increase. But if you go and put it on the opposite side, the value will reduce. Now it's easy. How much is given for revenue in the question? 18,000, right? What did you do to the revenue account when you are correcting the error? You are crediting 1,000. My revenue will increase or reduce now? Increase. 18,000 is already on the credit side and you are going and putting another 1,000 on the credit side, right? Revenue will increase. How much will be the answer to my revenue now? 19,000. Can you please go and enter 19,000 for revenue on the credit side? Okay, first one is done. Can you look at purchases? How much is given for purchases? 15,500. On which side have they given? Debit side. Remember that. Now your bit of maths is required. Look at the journal. Did you make any adjustment to the purchases figure? Yes. What are you doing? Crediting 300. Now 15,500 was given on the debit side, and if you go and credit 300, will the value increase or reduce? Reduce. So how much would be the amount for purchases now? If you reduce it by 300, it will be 15,200. Is that clear? Right? It will be 15,200. L. Capital. Can you look at capital? Capital is given on which side? Credit side. 1,200. Did you make any adjustment to capital? No. Then just go and enter 1,200 on the credit side. Drawings. How much is given for drawings in the question? 1,050. Did you make any adjustment to drawings? No. Just enter 1,050 on the debit side. You're not making any adjustment to drawings. Okay. Right. Next one. Kullu maafi one. General expense. How much is given for general expense? 1,720 on the debit side. Okay. Can you see? 1,720 is given on the debit side. Did you make any adjustment to general expense? How many adjustments? 1, 2. Look, 1,720 was given on the debit side. When you go and enter 450 on the credit side, will it increase or reduce? Reduce. Opposite side, no, it will reduce by 450. Again, you are going and entering another 800 on the credit side. It will again reduce by another 800. So 1,720 minus 450 minus 800. Is it 470? Error. Go and enter 470 for general expense on the debit side. Right? So the rule is if you go and enter on the same side itself, add it because the value will increase. But if you go and put it on the opposite side, you have to reduce it. Okay. Rent payable. How much is given for rent payable? 200. Did you make any adjustment to rent? Yes. 200 was given on the debit side. And you are going and debiting another 450. Value will increase. Now what will be the amount? 650. So enter 650 over here. Yes, Kevin. Ella. Fixtures. How much is the fixtures cost given? 700. Did you make any adjustment to fixtures? Yes. Debiting 800. 700 was given on the debit side, and you're debiting another 800, meaning it will increase. You put it on the same side. No. How much? 1,500. So you enter 1,500 on the debit side. Okay. Provision for depreciation. You, of course, did not make any adjustment to provision for depreciation. How much is it? 420 on the credit side. You didn't make any adjustments. No. So enter 420 on the credit side. Right? Trade receivables. How much is given for trade receivables in the question? 1,750. Did you make an adjustment to trade receivables? Yeah. What did you do? Debit or credit? Debit 1,000. 1,750 was given on the debit side. And if you go and debit another 1,000, now the value will increase to how much? Huh? 2,750. Pritesh, last night. No. But man, I just asked whether he drank water. Usually people before going to bed, they have water. See, I'm also having water. I don't know what he thought, no? Man, a fellow man. Shit. Dirty fellow, no, trade payable, right? How much is given for trade payables in the question? 2,100 on the credit side. What did you do to trade payables? There's an adjustment. Are you debiting or crediting? Debiting 300, right? You are debiting 300, no? 2,100 was given on the credit side. Now when you go and debit 300, you are entering on the opposite side. What will happen? Reduce. What will be the figure now? 1,800. So enter 1,800. Huh? See, me and technology, this is the problem, right? Anyway, you can enter. The ones who are online, you can hear me. Enter the balance at bank. You did not make any adjustments till I get into this. Balance at bank. How much was given for balance at bank? Look at your tube, 200, right? Enter 200. You did not make any adjustments. So just make sure you enter 200 on the debit side. Finally, inventory at first. You did not make any adjustments. How much is the inventory given in the question? 600, right? Look at the tube. 600 is the amount given for inventory. Now, Machang, do me a favor. Add everything on the debit side, add everything on the credit side, and see if debit and credit is equal. You need to add everything on the debit side, add everything on the credit side. Debit and credit has to be equal. Then what you have done is right. Both are equal. So quickly you did. And then see. Equal. How much is the total? 22,420. At the debit side and see if you are getting 22,420. At the credit side also and see if you are getting 22,420. Check and see if you are getting 22,420 when you add the credit side as well. Getting? Error. So which means what you have done is perfect. Debit and credit is equal. 8 marks confirmed. Okay, right. One question done. So I'll wait for 30 seconds, 45 seconds. The ones who are online, all okay, under control? Yep. The Hamdi. Kevin. Only the Hamdi and Kevin is putting something new. Where is Arib? Minaya, Naveen? No pechi, no moochi, no. Huh? What is this? See, will you? See, will you? Yeah. You are nicely waiting for them to reply, no? Chat group. Yeah. Right. Now the next question that we are going to do. Let's look at one more question where errors not affecting the trial balance only has been tested. So let me go through it. Just give me a few seconds. Error. Question number 5. Can you all take question number 5? Teri Mary, Mary Teri. Sleepy? Huh? Sleepy? No. Okay. Next time, before you come to my class, okay, I'm giving you a homework. Today, when you go home, now sleepy comes because you have not slept properly. No. Go home, you know, Piriton tablet. Take 10 on the spot. Okay, 10 on the spot. You will sleep like that permanently for some time. Sometimes, in case if you happen to wake up, sleep now, you have slept for like 4 or 5 days. You will be Mahara fresh when you come next Thursday. You'll be like Mahara active. In case if you wake up. If you don't wake up, sorry.com. You can sleep permanently. Which one do you prefer? Waking up. Okay. So what's your homework? How many Piriton tablets? 10. If you want, you can increase the dose. Make it 20, no issues at all. Okay, I am a doctor. Doctor, I give permanent solutions. I don't give temporary solutions and all. You get it? On the spot, gone. Gone. Okay, no tension. Right? Okay. I give permanent solutions. Doctors give temporary solutions, so that problem again comes. When you take a medicine for fever, after 1 year, again you get fever. No, man, blood useless though. Huh? I am a doctor, different kind of a doctor. Okay, right. Anyway, shall we start with question number 5? Okay, Yogita, question number 5. I'm doing a bit of yoga. Right. Meditation. Yoga is meditation? No, yeah. Okay. Zarita. Beautiful girl's name. Zarita. But man, beautiful name. What is this? Beautiful name, actually. No, man. See, these ladies are like that only. Just oh, hey, last. Zarita prepared a trial balance at 31st March 2018. The trial balance totals agreed. The following errors were later discovered. How many errors are given to you? 4. Name each type of error in 1 to 4. That is the first one for you to name the error. Let's take it slowly. B part, explain why the trial balance totals agreed. Although there were 4 errors, you should be knowing the answer. They are asking why the trial balance totals agreed, meaning why did the trial balance even though there were 4 errors? What's the answer to that? Kullu maafi. Debit and credit is equal. You have made a debit entry and a credit entry for the same amount. Then only your trial balance will balance. Okay, I have to give that answer. C part is to do the journal entry. D part, there is an interesting requirement coming up. Okay, I am going to answer the B part first because it's a different type of theory. You know, after that, we'll do the A part and C part. Okay, answer to the B part. Explain why. And this bug is giving all the answers. No, first one is original, it's in complete reversal, it's in principal, it's in commission, it's in ado. It's okay, Kevin, no problem. Explain why the trial balance totals agreed, although there were 4 errors. The reason is the business might have made a debit entry and a credit entry for the same amount. Debit and credit is equal. That's the reason. So you can say the business would have made a debit entry and a credit entry, debit entry and a credit entry for the same amount. And as a result, total debit and credit is equal. Total debit and credit is equal. Okay, the business would have made a debit entry and a credit entry for the same amount, and as a result, total debit and credit is equal. Okay. Okay, I will give you 1 minute. Can you try to write the name of the error? If you are not sure of the answer, write it here in short form, so that when I give you the answer, you can write it here. If you are not sure, if you are 1000% sure, you can write the name, no problem at all. Can you read error number 1 and try to figure out the name of the error? You have entered 830 as 380. You have entered the wrong value. According to me, I'm giving you a small summary. When you enter the wrong value, what is the name? Ursula. What do you think is the name? Huh? Original entry. Kullu maafi. If the amount is wrong, it should definitely be what? Original entry. Is that clear? Correct. You're selling to Winchester 830 and you have gone and entered as how much? 380. So if you go and enter the wrong value, the name of the error I heard original entry. Pattasiri. Yeah, by any chance, if you see any dreams within the day, just let me know. Like a good dream and all, okay? Right? Original entry. Focus. Yo, hey, you know what are you going to do after 5 o'clock? Like after I go home, I have to do that, I have to do this, that bug is waiting for me. Should play a bit of, what's the sport that you play? Gaming. Cricket. Cricket. Yeah? He's waiting for you for cricket. Evening today, 5:30, did you tell we'll play cricket? Huh? If you are playing cricket, shall I buy you some balls and give? For you to go home? What man? Ball. Cricket is played with ball. Huh? Tennis ball. See, these people don't know cricket, no ball. They are taking different meanings and all. Where will I go? I am an innocent child here. We are innocent, okay? We are innocent. We will file a case against these people. Don't worry. I have a special lawyer. Original entry, error number 1. Original entry. Error number 1 is original entry. Yeah? Can you read error number 2 and try to figure out the name of the error? Huh? Complete reversal. Correct. Discount allowed to Bloom had been credited in the discount allowed and debited to Bloom. Right? Okay. Write it, will you? I will explain why you call it complete reversal as well. When I'm correcting the error, I will explain it. Huh? Complete reversal. You did the opposite. Error number 3. Computer expense had been recorded in computer account. You entered in the wrong account. Same class or different class? Different class. One is computer expense, which is expense. Other one is computer, which is assets. So different class meaning, what is the name? Principal. The last one. Purchase of goods from Stilson had been posted to the account of Filton. You are entering in the wrong account. You are buying from Stilson. You entered in the account of Filton. Wrong account, but same class. Okay. So what is the name? Because both are your suppliers. Okay. Trade payables. So what should be the name for this? Commission. Anyway, while correcting the error, I will recall the names again. Huh? Then you will understand it better. Okay. Now shall we start correcting these errors? Let's correct the first one. After that, we will go for a... What time did we start class? 3 o'clock, no? That is what you started. How much did you believed it? 3 fellow is an idiot fellow, no? You getting late seeing them and you're scolding that fellow also. Actually speaking, it's like that. It's meant to happen. You can't do anything about it. Yeah. That you were supposed to get late and that Trisho fellow that was supposed to happen like that. You can't do anything about it. So you have to, you know, why without just scolding that innocent fellow, Just wait. It's okay, man. Let him also have a good life. Sing. No, he also has a family. He is also a human being. He also has a heart. Correct? No? Yeah. Correct. No, bang. You are thinking about the tennis balls I'm going to come and give you. I am not giving. This fellow every time, look at him. Will you give me balls? You like to go and play? That is the reaction. No. No cricket hereafter for you. But if you give me answers, I will buy a team and give. Okay? If you give me answers, huh? If not, no cricket. Okay? Right. So what we will do is, we have to do the correction. No? We will have a break and start. Okay, we have worked till about 4:15. No? So we will go for a short break. After the break, we'll do the C part and the D part. Yeah? Right? Any doubts you can ask. The ones who are online, take about 12 minutes, 13 minutes break and come back. Right? My watch is telling 4:16. So 12, 13 minutes meaning 4:29. Okay, 4:30 we start sharp. So come before 4:30. Okay. Till then, I'm going to have a chat with these dinky fellows. Okay, so shall we start now? Question number 5, we have started and we did the A part and we have done the B part. Okay, I heard A part and B part is over, right? Board is here, not there. Okay, right. And I am here, not there. Okay, here and here should be the focus, not there and there, right? Now look at error number 1. I'm going to start correcting it. Sales on credit to Winchester 830 had been recorded in the sales journal as 380. Do you know how a sales journal works? Listen to me very carefully. I'll show you an example of a sales journal which I had prepared in the past. Then you will understand how this sales journal is working. If not, you will not know why it's not affecting the trial balance. Okay. Right. Let me prove it to you. Can you see the sales journal? Yeah. So what do you enter in the sales journal is, whenever you sell on credit, you need to enter in the sales journal. Okay. Now you are selling to how many people? Tom, Smith, Jack and Martin. This is just an example which I am showing you. Okay. Whenever you sell on credit, first you have to enter in the sales journal. After that only you have to enter the double entries. Now look at, after I did the sales journal only, can you see I'm preparing an account for Tom? What am I doing the account of Tom? I'm debiting 1,600. No. Remember, you need to look at the value that you have entered in the sales journal. By looking at that value only, you start entering the debit and the credit entries. Sales journal is a book of prime entry. No. We revised books of prime entries. What do you mean by a book of prime entry? Book of first entry. Whenever you have a transaction, you don't do the debit and the credits first. You need to first enter in a book of prime entry. After you enter in the book of prime entry only, you look at it and do the double entries. Now I have a question for you. Correct amount is 1,600. No? Imagine by mistakenly, I entered 1,500 over there. I make a mistake in the sales journal. How much will I take to Tom's account now? 1,000? How much will I take? 1,500 or 1,600? 1,500. Why? Because I entered 1,500 in the sales journal. So remember, if you make a mistake in the sales journal, that means when you do the double entries, your double entries will also be wrong, right? That is the understanding that you need to have, because when you look at the journal, by looking at the journal only, you start preparing the T accounts. So you know how the sales journal is working. Now come back to this. You should be able to understand what I'm going to teach you over here now. Right. Have a look at it. Sales on credit to Winchester 830 had been recorded in the sales journal as 380. Now imagine this is your sales journal. Sales journal is not your sales account. You might have written Winchester over here and you might have written 380. By looking at that only, you start preparing the T accounts now. So when you start preparing the T account, so you have an account for sales and you have an account for Winchester. Correct amount is 830. Yeah? You're selling on credit to Winchester for 830, but you went and entered in the sales journal as 380. No. So how much will you go and enter in the sales account now? 380, because by looking at the journal only, you start doing the T accounts. So if you make a mistake in the journal, the double entries that you do will also be wrong. The amount will be wrong. So sales account, you might have entered 380. Winchester account, you might have debited 380. What is the correct amount? 830. So that is why, because you have entered the wrong amount, you gave the name of the error saying original entry. Now please help me. What should I do to sales account to make it 830? To make it 830, should I add or minus? Add. Add meaning, should I put on the same side or opposite side? Same side. Okay, sales account is credited with 380. No, how much more should I credit to make it 830? 450. Okay, what should I do to the account of Winchester? I have to debit 450. Is that clear? So Winchester account is debited with 450. Sales account is credited with 450 to correct error number 1. So error number 1, Winchester account should be debited with 450 and sales account is credited with 450. So this is what you are doing in order to correct error number 1. Okay, Winchester account is debited, sales account is credited with 450. Error number 1, kullu maafi, done. So remember, if you make a mistake in the journal, both the accounts will be wrong. Huh? So sales account was also wrong, Winchester account was also wrong. I'm coming to error number 2. Discount allowed to Bloom 60. Discount allowed is income or expense? Expense. In accounting, expenses should always be debited. So if you debit the discount allowed account, what should I do in the account of Bloom? Credit. That should be the correct double entry. What did this fellow do? Discount allowed to Bloom 60 had been credited to discount allowed account and debited to Bloom's account. Have they done the opposite? When you do the opposite, what is the name of the error? Complete reversal. That's why the name of the error, I told you, complete reversal. And when you are correcting an error of complete reversal, can you remember, you should double the amount while correcting the error. Why? Discount allowed should be 60 on the debit side. To make it 60, I should debit not only 60. I have to first debit 60 to correct this, right? To cancel the error. Then to make the correction, another 60. So how much will I debit in discount allowed account? 120. Same thing in Bloom's account, I have to credit 120. Okay. Discount allowed is debit, Bloom is credit. Error number 2. So error number 2, discount allowed account should be debited with 120 and Bloom's account has to be credited with 120. Okay. Error number 2. Error number 3. Error number 3. Let's go through error number 3. Computer expense 900. So there is an account for computer expense. Computer expense 900 had been recorded in computer account. Computer expense, you went and put it in computer account. Okay. Wrong account, different class. Computer expense is expense. Computer is asset. Wrong account and different class meaning, what is the name? Principal. That's why I told principal. How can I correct it? Computer expense, by mistakenly you went and put it in computer account. So what should I do to computer account now? Credit 900 to cancel it. By mistakenly you went and put in computer account, right? Remove it. Now enter the correction. Where should I go and enter? Computer expenses account. You have to debit 900. Right? Because computer expense has to be debited with 900 because it's an expense to you. So go and put that into the journal. Computer expense account. Computer expenses account should be debited with 900. Okay. Computer expenses account should be debited with 900 and computer account you are crediting 900 in the computer account. So computer expense account is debited, computer account is credited. Last one to correct it. The last error. Okay. A purchase of goods from Stilson. Had been posted to the account of Filter. Can you tell me, when you purchase from Stilson, purchaser's account is always debited. When you purchase, purchaser's account is always debited. So what you should have done to the account of Stilson, you should have credited. Did you do that? No. Without entering in the account of Stilson, it has been posted to the account of whom? Filter. Wrong account, same class because both are your liabilities, both are names of people, right? So they are in the same class. That's why you gave the name saying what? Commission. Tell me how to correct it. What should I do to the account of Filter? Filter, debit, 420. Where will I credit? Stilson, 420. Done. Put that into the journal, right? Ella, online, Ella, kullu maafi. Filter debit, Stilson credit. So error number 4. Filton's account is debited with 420. Stilson's account is credited with 420. So that is how you are correcting error number 4. Haridhar, right? Easy game, no? Easy game. Okay. Now there is a new requirement. Before you do that requirement, I have to teach you a small rule. Ideally, there is some space given below, no? Right? In that space provided, try to have a rule like this where I will be having 2 T accounts. And I'm going to teach you a rule, then you will remember. You can say profit rule. Profit rule. 2 accounts are here. 1, 2. 1 for expenses. Better to take it, no? Then you will remember what to do. Incomes. You have learned it. Expenses increases debit, decreases credit when it comes to incomes. Everyone knows this rule, right? Expenses increase debit, decrease credit. Incomes increase credit, decrease debit. But I am trying to teach you the profit rule. Now let me come to the profit part. Okay, first have that T account, will you? Expenses increase debit. When it reduces, you have to credit. But when it comes to incomes, increase is credit, decrease is debit. So that's the arrow which I have put over there. But below that, I'm going to give you the profit rule. Very important rule. If you know the rule, you will find it very simple for you to calculate the profit. Okay, always remember this for the profit calculation part. Let me ask you a question now. Let's play a game. Okay, right. Expenses increase, I have put on the debit side. Can you tell me, when expenses are increasing, what will happen to my profit? Okay, put a reduced line. This is the profit one. Ideally in a different color if you can have it, if not, no problem. Okay, profit will reduce. When expenses are increasing, profit will reduce. Okay, now look at the next one and tell me, when expenses are reducing only, you went and put to the credit side, right? When expenses are reducing, can you tell me what will happen to profit? If expenses reduce, what will happen to profit? Profit will increase. So this is my profit line. Put an increase column. Increase. Okay. Now come to the income account. When incomes are reducing, what will happen to my profit? Reduce. Put a reducing line. When incomes are increasing, what will happen to my profit? Increase. Put an increase line. You know why did I give this? To show you a very, very important point. When they tell you to calculate the profit adjustment, let's see how to do the calculation. But one thing that should be in your head is, I want you to look at the 2 accounts and tell me, is there a similarity between the 2 accounts when it comes to profit? There is. You know what is the similarity? Look at the expenses account. When you debit, what's happening to profit? What's happening to profit? Expense account, if it is on the debit side, it is profit is reducing, right? Look at income account. If you debit, what's happening to profit? Profit is reducing. So the similarity between the two accounts is, if you go and debit an expense account or an income account, profit of the business will reduce. You don't have to go and debit expense account itself. Even if you go and debit an income account, you need to understand profit of the business will come down. Clear? Look at credit entry. If you credit the expense account, profit is increasing, right? If you credit the income account, also profit is increasing. So whenever you credit, it can be an expense or an income. If you credit, profit is what? Increasing. So what is our conclusion? If you debit either the expense account or the income account, profit will reduce. If you credit either the expense account or the income account, profit of the business will increase. Shall we write a small note before I do the calculation, right? Somewhere here, either below this or wherever you have space in the tube, profit rule, I'm going to give you a small rule over there, right? Wherever you wrote that income and expense account, on the side, wherever you have space, okay? So I will write it here. If we debit expense or income account, profit will reduce. Okay, if we debit expense or income account, profit will reduce. If we debit expense or income account, profit will reduce. And next point you can say, if we credit expense or income account, if we credit expense or income account, profit will increase. Okay, profit will increase. So that's a rule that you need to know. Now when you do the adjustment, Machan, you'll find it very simple. Very, very simple. Easy game. Taken? So what is our conclusion? If you debit, what will happen to profit? It will reduce. If you credit, what will happen to profit? It will increase. Now I'll ask you another question. To find the effect on profit, should you focus on your income statement or should you focus on your statement of financial position? Income statement. What comes in your income statement? Incomes and expenses. What comes in your statement of financial position? Assets, liability, capital. Assets, liability, capital will not affect profit. What will affect profit? Only incomes and expenses, which means your focus should be on the income statement when you do it, right? Now look at this, will you? When you do this, you will see how easy it is if you know that rule. Without knowing the rule, if you try to think of logics and all, you can go wrong. But if you know the rule, you will always score full marks for this. Let me teach you how you are going to apply the rule now. Read it. Before Zarita corrected the errors, she had calculated a draft profit of 68,000. They are telling before correcting the error, draft profit is 68. Do you know what do you mean by draft profit? Yeah. Huh? Can't see. Show me, where maybe? 6,800 you told. Draft profit is 6,800. What do you mean by draft profit? Huh? The profit that you have calculated while there were errors. There were so many errors, no? You might have calculated a profit, but there were some errors that you corrected, right? With the error, the profit is how much? 6,800. So when you correct all the errors, what will happen to the profit of the business? Profit will change, no? Right. Now look at error number 1. Okay. They are telling you complete the following table to show the effect of correcting each error. On the draft profit. Where there is no effect, write no effect. Error number 1, they are talking about sales on Winchester and all. Don't look at that. Look at this. Look at this. Look at error number 1 and tell me, do you ever find Winchester in your income statement? No. Do you find sales in your income statement? Yes. What are you doing to the sales account? When you credit, what will happen to profit? Increase. Simple, right? Because you're crediting the sales account, when you credit, your sales will increase. So which means go and enter 450 in the increase column. Sun. Sun, you know? Before the moon comes, sun comes. You know the sun? Right. Error number 2. Look at this. Same thing, only what you corrected. Discount allowed to Bloom 60 had been credited. What you corrected, it's there in the journal. Do you find discount allowed in your income statement? No. Discount allowed is expense. It comes in your income statement. Have you ever found Bloom in your income statement? No. So what comes in your income statement? Discount allowed. What are you doing to the discount allowed account? Debiting. When you debit, what will happen to profit? Reduce. When you debit, profit will reduce. Enter 120 in the decrease column. Right? 120 should be taken to the decrease column. Harida? Right. I'm now okay? Right. Next, error number 3. Out of the 2, what comes in your income statement? Computer expense. Computer is asset. That will not come in income statement. Computer expense will come. What are you doing? Debiting. If you debit, what will happen to profit? Profit will reduce. Kullu maafi. Dapang 900. Profit will reduce by 900. Okay. Last one. In your entire life, when you did income statement, Filton, Stilson, filter. Where did you enter? Expense. Very good. Huh? Filton, bamboo, Filton, Stilson. Did you ever enter in the income statement? No. Trade payables also doesn't come in your income statement. No. SOFT. So both will not affect your profit. So what will be the answer? No effect. Have they told you when there is no effect to write no effect? Yes. So what will you write here? No effect. Either you can write it like this here. No effect. Okay. Or you can write it in one column. Just say no effect. No problem at all. Up to you to decide how you want to write the no effect part. Now tell me, how much is the total increase? Enter that 450 in this column. Total increase is 450. No, there is a column there. How much is the total decrease? 1020. No, enter that 1020 within brackets. Now tell me, how much is 450 minus the 1020? 570. 570. 570 positive or negative? Negative. Negative meaning put it within brackets, because 450 minus 1000. Huh? 450 minus 1020. Anyway, eka anith eka ba, meka a. Right. Okay. 450 minus 1020 is 570. Now the last line only they have told you to calculate the revised profit. You know how to find the revised profit? How much was your draft profit? 6,800 minus the 570. You can find out what will be the profit after correcting all the errors. 6,800 minus 570 is equal to 6,230. So your final revised profit should be entered over here, which is going to be 6,230. Is the profit calculation clear? Is it easy? If you know the rule, it's simple. Okay. Right. Not over, have time. Okay. I'll give you 30 seconds for anyone who needs to take it, for you to quickly take it. Right? All cool, under control, error. Now, go back to the note that you wrote in your writing book where you gave a subheading saying errors affecting the trial balance, right? After errors not affecting trial balance, you told errors affecting trial balance. Now, let's do about 1 or 2. Then we can continue from there next week. Also remember, from the month of January on and off, there will be a few extra classes. Usual class is on Thursday, no? But that extra class will be held only online. Okay, the extra class will be held only online, where you have to come. I will be having it most probably in the night, in the sense maybe like from 7:30 to 8:45, somewhere during that time. What time do you sleep? That time? What time? Sometimes 9 o'clock. Sleeping time, no? It's okay. Think about exam, sleep won't go, right? I will let you know the date on and off I will be having, maybe like twice in a month, like for about 1 hour, we'll be having a few extra classes. Why am I not doing physical? Because I don't have that time if it is in the night. Okay, I finish classes in Payable at 7:30, so I have no way of making at 7:35 here. But I know I can go with the direction of the wind. But at that time, the wind is not very strong enough. Okay, so as a result, extra classes will be held online. Other than that, the usual class will happen on Thursdays. Okay, I will let you know. I will inform you about it once we start in January. Okay, from next month. Errors affecting trial balance. Error number 1. You can say single entry. Error number 1, single entry. Can you look at this error and tell me, imagine you are paying for rent by cash 50. You debit 50 here and you don't do anything in your cash account. Is debit and credit equal? No. If it is not equal, will your trial balance or no? It won't balance. So this is an error which is affecting your trial balance. The most important thing, whenever you're correcting an error which is affecting your trial balance, you have to use an account called what? Suspense account. Example, if I'm going to correct this error, rent account is perfect. No? You did not enter in the cash account, right? So what will you do in the cash account? Credit. You should credit cash account with 50. If you credit the cash account with 50, I need to debit some account now, no? Can I go and debit the rent account? No, rent account is perfect. So where will you go and debit now? Suspense account. All the errors affecting your trial balance, you have to correct it through an account called what? Suspense account. So what do you mean by single entry? Only one entry is made. Now, if you look at it, only the debit entry is made. You have not made the credit entry. Haridhar, shall we write a note for that? What is single entry? Only one entry is made. Next to single entry, you can say only one entry is made. Only one entry is made. Right? That is single entry. Error number 2. Error number 2. You can say there is no specific name for this. 2 debit entries or 2 credit entries are made. Two debit entries or 2 credit entries are made. Write it. I will explain what that is. Okay. For me to explain that, look at this and tell me whether your trial balance will balance or not. Imagine you're paying for rent by cash 100. So you have to debit rent, credit cash. You do this. Will your trial balance or no? Why? How much is the amount on the debit side of rent account? In the cash account, did you debit or credit? Debit. So how much is the total amount on the debit side? 200. Have I entered anything on the credit side? No. So the conclusion is debit and credit is not equal. So if the debit and credit is not equal, you need to always remember trial balance will not balance. So you have to correct it through which account? Suspense account. Now the scene is the rent account correct? When you pay for rent by cash, rent account should be debited. Perfect. No? Problem is in your cash account, right? Cash should be 100 on which side? Credit. Think a bit. To make it 100 on the credit side, what should I do? I have to enter how much? 200. Why 200? I need to first cancel this mistake. For me to cancel that mistake, I enter 100 on the credit side. Now it's like I have not entered anything. Correct? No. Now it's like 0, 0. It has cancelled out. But cash should be 100 on the credit side. No. To make it 100 on the credit side, how much should I credit in total? 200. Where will I debit? Suspense account. Kullu maafi. Right? Kullu maafi. Maafi kullu. Right. Suspense account will be debited. So what do you mean by 2 debit entries are made? Basically, you have not made the double entry. Right. Write this and keep, but we'll continue in the next class. The third one, I will explain it to you in the next class. Just write it and keep. Undercast and overcast. Undercast and overcast. Where within brackets you can say different amounts on both sides. Different amounts on both sides. So I will be recalling the errors not affecting and affecting, because next week I will be doing the past paper questions which has both affecting and not affecting. Okay. Right. So what we will do is we will stop there for the day. There is a bit more that we have to do. So I'll see you again. The ones who are online, see you next week. If you can come physical, you can come physical. If not online, that option is always available. So I'll see you next week at sharp 3. Yeah.